So that's why movies like this, Sound of Freedom, educate the public, right? That's why we're saying, get out there, tell your friends, tell your family. This isn't about making money. This is about telling the truth and getting the truth out to as many people as possible so that when you're in the mall one day walking around and you see a child crying in someone's arms and it just doesn't seem right, that you may be more aware of what is happening to children in our own country. The Sound of Freedom is owning the box office. It's owning it. Eduardo, you are amazing. Jim, Tim Ballard, my friends, you have done it. And you know how they've done it, folks? They've done it by just ignoring the high screeching, weird sounding leftist radicals that are literally just enraged at the truth, enraged that there are good people in the world. These are the kind of people that possess an ability to take anything that is good and turn it against itself. These are the kind of people that we need to ignore. Right now, The Sound of Freedom, and by the time you hear this, it could be a lot more, $19.7 million in its first weekend. It was sold out in theaters all around the country. Thank you, Sarah Carter listeners, for going out there and doing your job and watching this film and telling Hollywood, and by the way, a ton of pedophiles in that area of Hollywood. We all know that. And Disney, by the way, that is trying to take control of your children and separate them from the moral values and the established values that the church and your own families are trying to instill in your kids to make them better human beings. All of these people are enraged that you are taking the power back. And exactly what Eduardo and Jim and Tim Ballard are doing is exactly what every single parent needs to be doing, and every single citizen of our nation needs to be doing when it comes to these pseudo demons that are running around, trying to take our children from us, trying to take our nation from us. You need to ignore them and just plow through. You need to be more aware of what is happening in the world, and we're going to be talking about this. And you need to inform yourself, your family, your friends. Information will be your weapon, and you will be the most powerful and formidable army on the planet when you just follow your heart and realize that these people that we gave so much power to, and by the way, weirdo President Biden, again, munching on a child's back and smelling their neck in public. He can't even control himself anymore. That these psychos, these weirdos, they have no power over us if we don't let them. If we don't let them. And that is the lesson, folks, of The Sound of Freedom. And I'm going to run through some pieces that have criticized basically the film and its actors and those that are connected to it. I'm going to show you how enraged the left is and how evil they are and what they are trying to do to good men and women who are standing up to child exploitation, modern day human slavery, and some of the worst of us, some of the most nefarious of us, right? We have good people standing up to this evil. Some people, like my friend Rosie Orozco, like Eduardo Verástegui, they are being threatened. They are being threatened by cartels, by human traffickers, because they are speaking out against one of the most powerful industries right now on planet Earth. Yes. The biggest moneymaker on earth right now is human trafficking. And children are suffering every single day. We're going to go through that, and I'm going to show you the insanity of the left. But first, I want to tell you about Allegiance Gold. And I tell you all the time, diversify, diversify, diversify. And you can do that with Allegiance Gold, sponsor of the Sara Carter Show and a company that I absolutely believe in. And don't just trust me. Do the research yourself. Right now, gold and silver actually allow you to protect what you've worked so hard for, right? You want to be able to protect your IRA, your 401k, and you want to do that with physical gold and silver. Why? Because it's physical. You actually see it, you own it, and you can have it delivered securely right to your front door from Allegiance Gold. They will do that. They will educate you on the benefits of gold and silver because they care about you and they want to build a long-term relationship with you. This is a company that wants you to keep coming back, company that stays with you. And right now, you can get $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you tell them that Sara sent you. So don't wait, call or click today. 877-702-7272. That's 877-702-SARA without the H. Or go to protectwithsara.com. We can't control the Biden administration, folks, but we can prepare. We know that we can prepare. 877-702-7272. That's 877-702-SARA without the H, or protectwithsara.com. Let's just jump right into this. Before I go to those exact headlines, last night I was with Tom Homan and I and our friend Chris Burgard. They did a film. They defendtheborder.com is a big deal. We now started a new nonprofit group called Border 911. And the main reason, the main motivation behind this, Tom Homan being the former ICE director, Immigration and Customs Enforcement director, Mark Morgan is going to be a part of this, former acting DHS. We have Victor Avila, who was a former ICE officer whose partner was killed in Mexico and he almost lost his life. He was shot 3 times by the cartels. All of the people that I am close to, Rosie Orozco, who was a former congressional member of Mexico, Eduardo Verástegui, who is behind this film, Tim Ballard, who has been my friend since, my gosh, I met him when he was working with Glenn Beck at the very beginning, doing the very first rescue, which is what this movie is about, Sound of Freedom, first rescue of children in Colombia that were taken by horrific people and sold for sex. Young children, for God only knows what else. All of these people have seen evil and have said, I want to do whatever I can to stop it. I will spend the rest of my life fighting this evil to stop it. I never want my child to experience that kind of evil. For those of you who have never had a chance, thank God, or have never met a child, thank God, who has experienced this type of horror, it might be unfamiliar territory. You might be saying to yourself, wow, is it really that bad? Does that exist? Because, not everybody is experiencing the same thing or has access to the same thing. So that's why movies like this, Sound of Freedom, educate the public, right? That's why we're saying, get out there, tell your friends, tell your family. This isn't about making money. This is about telling the truth and getting the truth out to as many people as possible so that when you're in the mall one day walking around and you see a child crying in someone's arms and it just doesn't seem right, that you may be more aware of what is happening to children in our own country. By the way, the biggest buyer of children in the world right here, United States of America, right? We want to educate you on what is happening to children that are being trafficked across the border, children that are losing their lives every single day. Right now, as I am speaking to you, in your kitchens, or if you're driving your car, if you're hanging out with your kids, or if you're just with your family, whatever you are doing. Got your headsets in, you're going for a walk, want to listen to my podcast, that's awesome. I do that quite frequently. I listen to people's podcasts and, but as you're doing your everyday life, there is a child being locked up in a cage, a child being raped, a child being beaten, a child being tied down in a factory somewhere, burned, scalded. I've met these survivors. I'm not just making up these stories out of my head. In fact, some of them will be here in the United States in the next few weeks. I have them coming in. Rosie and I have them coming in to talk to some folks. These are real people that have faced horrors that only you and I can possibly imagine. And can we even imagine it? I don't even know. I remember being out on the border one time, and it was on Sean's show, actually. Many times I would talk to young kids, young girls, especially young children who I believed had been accosted or raped. And I would definitely tell the Border Patrol, I speak Spanish fluently, and I would say, hey, look, this child appears to have been harmed on the journey. Can you take them? Ensure that they're separated from the adults and maybe take them to a medical doctor so that they can be examined, right? One time when I was on the border and it was on Sean's show, I was talking to a group that had walked through, and they were telling me that there was a woman, they couldn't tell me exactly where, but on the trail that had collapsed, that they had left her there with one family member and her young child because they couldn't carry her. They were so dehydrated. I mean, it's like 120 degrees. I mean, the index is out of control. It's like literally walking through hell sometimes when you think about the US southern border, right? So not only are you dealing with, the human traffickers and the horrors of what they've done to some of these children, but now these children are crossing through the most horrific parts of our border in the worst heat of the day. And I get to that woman, and she is profusely, we find her finally. It took a while, but we find her. I'm out there with Border Patrol. I'm with our team, a camera crew. We find her. She's laying on the dirt road in the brush, in between the brush, and she is profusely bleeding out of her nose. And the one thing that sticks with me, because she's so dehydrated, she's bleeding out. I don't even know what else she has going on. But the one thing that stuck with me was the face of her 2-year-old child, just looking so lonely and helpless and tragically broken, saying, mommy, mommy, so scared, so scared. And I thought to myself, what kind of people are we? How do we allow this to happen? How is this okay? The radical left and the Democrats are going to tell you that, we should all have open borders. Oh, it's wonderful. Every human is legal. It's a bullshit lie. It is a lie. This is what Hollywood does not want you to understand. Hollywood is famous for abusing children. Disney has even had huge issues with that on set and in their history. They take advantage of this idea of stardom, right? The amount of money that's poured in. Parents will sell their children out to have that kind of power and access and money and whatever, to wear some really, by the way, crappy clothes. Because I see some of those dresses on the runway and I would not sell my soul for that shit. Neither would you. We're normal people. But there is an element of Hollywood that is willing to sell out everything. And power is everything to them. Power and access to power and having control over anything that is good. Destroying innocence. Why? Because their innocence has already been destroyed. That's why Disney and all of these, all of these producers and actors that are trying to push this whole transgender issue on you and your children and, trying to separate families. That's why they're so adamant about it. They can't handle the fact that you are happy. They hate it. They hate the fact that you guys sit around a dinner table together and enjoy a conversation and go to church on Sunday. They look down on you. They're sick. They look at you like you're just they look at you. I'm trying to find the right word here. They have no respect for you, but it's not because they despise you. No, in that way, they despise you because of your happiness. Because they are the most miserable people on the planet. And remember before when it was like a big deal, Hollywood was all about, modern day slavery, this and human trafficking that. And as soon as the left saw that the right was exposing the real truth, what was going on at the border, what's happening overseas, what's happening in our own nation. As soon as the right and the conservatives and the independents, and by the way, some Democrats, started waking up and saying, no, this is unacceptable. You have no power over my child. No, this is unacceptable. We're going to show you what child trafficking is really all about and how it's happening in the United States more than any place else on the planet. As soon as that happened, the left was enraged again. And that is why you see here, Sound of Freedom is a box office hit whose star embraces QAnon, Jim Caviezel. They want you to look at him like he's, and they say it, the low budget film. This film, by the way, was made over 8 years ago. I just want you guys to know, because I've been talking to Eduardo about this. He had the hardest time because Disney was fighting him on it. Hollywood would not let him push it out. They had to find new and creative ways to get the movie out because Hollywood was not going to allow this film to come out. So this whole QAnon shit, that happened way before QAnon. So I don't even know why they're trying to do this. And they're trying to destroy the actors who are in this film. Good people like Jim, who speak out for truth, who care about children, who are fighting that. Let me read a little bit of this so you can understand the mindset of, this is from the Washington Post, of how they feel. It's a fairly standard American action thriller, gritty, violent, and hopeful, in which Ballard, talking about Tim Ballard, played by Jim Caviezel, fights to save abducted children in the Colombian jungle. The partially crowdfunded film opened this week to a solid review in Variety, which was good. But Sound of Freedom has been accused by some critics of warping truth about child exploitation and catering to QAnon conspiracy theorists, something its distributor, Angel Studios, denies. The Guardian's critics called it a QAnon-adjacent thriller seducing America. Folks, they do not want you to know the truth. And they are screaming in all of these articles. That was the Washington Post. The Guardian that they mentioned also is screaming mad in here. They call it a QAnon conspiracy film. The Guardian goes after it, destroys it. The New York Times did that. Rolling Stone was even worse here with their headline. It was like Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brain worms. You know, Miles Klee, you're a joke. You're a joke. Your writing's a joke. You don't really care about anything but yourself. You make me sick. And the only reason you wrote that is that you're hoping you're going to get invited to those Hollywood parties, preferably not those weird Hollywood parties that we always talk about, the ones where they really don't care about other people. And I won't go any further than that. But those Hollywood parties, I mean, it seems like you're really catering to that. Because if you were honest with yourself and you were honest with what's going on, you would tell the truth. Because even the UN knows that human trafficking is the biggest moneymaker on planet Earth right now, that children are being abused every single day, and that this film is doing everything it can, by the way, at a huge expense to those who made it, because they've been waiting over 8 years to get this film out. At a huge expense to them. And they don't care because it's not about money. They're not like you, Miles Klee. They're not like you, Washington Post. They're not like you, Guardian. They actually want to save lives. So then why are all these leftists screaming mad? Because they want to control you, the American people. They don't want you to know the truth about what is really happening. And they're screaming mad because we're no longer listening to them, because we no longer care about the Oscars, because we no longer care about their stupid films. Sound of Freedom is a movie for real superheroes. When I go speak to adults about what is happening to children at school with the fentanyl crisis, with human trafficking, when I talk to fathers and mothers and I say to them, the first thing I say is, if you knew a predator, you got a phone call, you're sitting at home, just imagine this. You're sitting at home, you get a phone call. Hello? You pick up your phone. Hello? And somebody says, I know that there is a predator outside your child's school. What are you going to do about it? They're going after your kid. What are you going to do about it? Every single parent said, I would be there in a heartbeat. I would do everything in my power to stop that person. I'd kill him. That's what they say. But guess what? Every single day, there are predators lurking and seeking your child. They are doing it on television through Hollywood. They are doing it in the school systems because we're not paying attention. They might not be doing it physically, but they're doing it with words and with deeds. That wide open border is a deed. The Biden administration has left it wide open. They know children are disappearing in this country. They know 85,000 kids they've lost off their radar. Human Health Services has completely lost. They know kids are being trafficked in this country, and they know more are coming across that border every single day. And not only that, your child is also a victim because fentanyl is all over our streets and because predators are lurking everywhere because nobody is stopping them until now. Guys, before I let you go, I want to tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is a sponsor of the Sara Carter Show. And by the way, makes great American products. As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their lives, right? And it's the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. He went ahead and created the Giza Dream bed sheets. I have them on all of our beds at home, and I get them for my kids. And I got them for my daughter after she got married. I mean, these are the best sheets by far. And right now, you can shop the sale of the year and get 50% off the Giza Dream sheets. Right now, you can get them for $29.98. You're not going to find that anywhere else. These sheets are amazingly soft. They're beautiful. And believe me, they are worth having in your closet. Even store them up. You know, have them for the future. MyPillow.com/Carter. That's MyPillow.com/Carter. Promo code Carter, CARTER, or call 1-800-685-7221. Go to MyPillow.com/Carter and use promo code Carter to get the Giza Dream Sheets for 50% off, or call 1-800-685-7221. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also all the deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper. It's amazing. MyPillow 2.0 pillow, blankets, and more. Get the best night's sleep. MyPillow.com/Carter and use promo code Carter for 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets. MyPillow.com/Carter, promo code Carter, or call 1-800-685-7221. Hey, folks, go see Sound of Freedom. We're winning this war. We are winning. That's what I'm trying to say. We have a lot to fight. We've got to stand up to it. We together, along with the Constitution backing us up, right? Our Bill of Rights, what the founding fathers gave us a great nation. But it is up to each and every one of us to be an active participant in that and not allow the administration to take control of this country and not allow these bureaucracies to drive our country into the dirt. It is us that has to keep our nation strong, and we got to fight back against a sick media that wants to hide the truth from you. If you love today's show and want even more of the Sara Carter Show, make sure you rate this podcast 5 stars and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on Truth at Sara Carter Official, on Twitter at Sara Carter DC, and on Instagram at SCarterDC. God bless you. God bless all the children in this world who are suffering without anyone to help them. And God give us the strength to save them. Thank you.